The Crystal Healing Certification Program is coming soon. Want to know more? For info, free training, and to get on the list, go to crystalhealerschool.com. Hey there, Ashley Levy here with the Love and Light School of Crystal Therapy, and I'm super excited to be coming to you for another live session. It's Wednesday after all, so today I wanted to talk about a stone that I've been kind of vibing on lately, which is Rose Quartz. So some of you may know this about me, but I did not used to be a huge fan of Rose Quartz. It was never one of my favorite crystals. It wasn't something I felt super attracted to or super drawn to, and now I've really changed my mind about that. So I see Debbie's here and Natasha's here. Hey Debbie and Natasha, thank you so much for coming. I'm going to talk about Rose Quartz a little bit today because this is a stone that I didn't used to feel such a strong connection to, and now I really adore it. It was one that grew to be probably my top 5 favorite crystals of all time. So I have this great rough chunk. This is from the Black Hills in South Dakota. And we have some of these at Mimosa right now, actually, but this is where some of the pinkest, highest quality rose quartz comes from. And it's really cool that it's from the US. I love this stone so much. And it just is such a good heart opener, and it's really soothing emotionally. I think that's why I'm especially being kind of drawn back to it right now. Some of you may know this or may not, but my grandmother recently just passed away. It's been not very long at this point, and I'm still just working through the grieving process in different ways. Sometimes I feel like I'm fine, and sometimes it hits me, and so it's just been, a little bit challenging to work through, and Rose Quartz has just been such a good companion for me. And I put out an Instagram post this morning asking people, what are their favorite crystals for working through grieving, and I got the most beautiful outpouring of support and these great replies and responses of what people are using for grieving. Everything from rose quartz to black tourmaline to Apache tear, spirit quartz, everything. So I'm so grateful for all the amazing suggestions, but rose quartz is like the one that's really standing out right now. And Paula, thank you. Yeah, it's been, really weird time, right? Losing someone is really difficult for a lot of different ways. I was so close with my grandmother, and if you've been watching any of my videos, I've probably talked about my grandma and grandpa a lot. They really helped get me into crystals and crystal healing. Actually, I was really fortunate. Both sets of my grandparents really got me into crystals for different reasons. So it was kind of neat how that worked out. But I had a really special relationship with my grandma, and I'm so grateful for the time we had together. My grandmother was 92 years old. Most people don't get their grandparents quite as far along into their adulthood as I did, and my grandpa is still with us, so grateful for that. And it's just something that I really cherish our relationship, and so it's been kind of a roller coaster, and that's one of the reasons Rose Quartz has been such a strong support, because it really helps balance out your emotional energy. It really helps heal any emotional wounds, any emotional trauma. And so this rough piece has been really coming in handy, just as kind of a touchstone throughout the day. It's something that there's something about this piece. I love the raw energy of it. And normally I like a lot of polished stones. I mean, I love, natural raw crystals too, but especially like rough chunks like this, I normally don't tend to gravitate toward. But this one in particular, I think it's just like a little heart, right? I just love it so much. So it's been really comforting. It fits nicely in my hand. But I've been using a couple other pieces also. So one thing that I love about a lot of stones is that they can be carved into different shapes. And I personally think that the shape of a crystal really does influence the way that the energy is expressed. And so, a tumbled stone will have a really soft, gentle energy that radiates out in all directions. Rough crystals, more when you need kind of more of an immediate breakthrough. They're a little bit more powerful. And I don't mean that their energy is stronger, and I don't mean that they work better. It's just the quality of the energy changes. I feel like it's like boom, kind of all at once. Whereas a tumbled stone is a little bit more gentle and a little bit more subtle, and something that takes a little longer to really permeate through the energy field. So there's pros and cons to using each. You know, if you're really sensitive to energy and you often feel overwhelmed by crystals, then maybe a tumbled stone's better. Or if you really need that immediate breakthrough, maybe the rough crystal's better. But then, you know, there are all these other shapes as well. And we could just go on and on about shapes. And in fact, I think I did a Facebook Live about crystal shapes like last year sometimes. You could probably find that in the video archive on the page. But I have really been working a lot with this little rose quartz heart. And oh my gosh, my light is making that really luminescent, isn't it? But I love rose quartz now, and the heart obviously being a symbol of love, but also a symbol of interconnectedness. And like, I just learned this fact about hearts, like physical hearts, which I think is so cool. Oh, thanks, Jamie. Oh, and hi, Leanne, and Lauren's here too. Hello. And Andrea, hi. And Debbie, hello. So I learned this fact about hearts a little while ago that I found that was really interesting. And it's that if you're sitting with someone, I think it was something like within 20 feet of someone, your brain recognizes the electrical impulse of someone else's heart beating. So if someone is near you, then your brain recognizes that electromagnetic frequency that's coming from their heart beating, because the heart, in terms of its electromagnetics, is actually, I want to say something like 40 times stronger than that of the brain. Your heart is so powerful. And the heart is one of those things that really connects us all. So I just thought it's so interesting that even if you're not feeling like you're super deeply connected to someone, just knowing that your brain on some subtle level picks up on the fact that there's another person there. There's another heartbeat interacting with your own. There's something about that that makes me get like almost a little emotional, because I think that it just shows how powerful connection is with other beings, and how much we need that interaction with other people, and how much even our physical bodies are hardwired for that connection. And so I love the idea of using this symbol of the heart with your rose quartz for that feeling of connection. So I think, yeah, Debbie, Jamie, isn't that really cool? It's a really amazing fact. And it's something that, like, that will probably stay with me forever, that your brain can register the heartbeat of someone else, even if they're like feet away from you. Your brain knows that they're there. So that's pretty neat stuff. So I've been using my rough rose quartz, been using my heart, and then I want to share something else with you. This is a piece that I shared on yesterday's Facebook Live for just a moment, but this is one that I've been using in meditation, and it's a large double terminated rose quartz, and it's actually so deep in color that it's almost a lavender, and sometimes you'll see this called lavender rose quartz, but this piece is from Madagascar, and this really deep lavender will sometimes come from South Dakota, where my nice pink piece is, but you can see the difference in color, right? That's like pretty significant. And then this piece is almost kind of white in comparison. This one's from Brazil. So it's pretty interesting, the different tints and shades that you can get from the amount of mineral inclusions that give the crystals their color. But this has been my meditation buddy the last few days. I've really been enjoying a lot of different meditations, actually, but there's one that it was kind of new to me, and it's on this website called Unplug Meditation, and there are actually these different crystal meditations, and there's one called Feel the Love with Rose Quartz. And so I've been going through that meditation with my rose quartz crystal, and just kind of holding this in my sacred space and being really present and allowing my heart that time to heal and grieve and just go through whatever it needs to go through, process these emotions, right? And Michelle's here, and Sophia, hello. And thank you, Natasha. Yeah, I feel really connected to this stone. I did get a couple for mimosa, and in full disclosure, this one was supposed to go to the store, but I fell in love with it and had to bring it home and add it to my personal collection. And that was actually just a few weeks before my grandmother passed. So I didn't even know why I was feeling so called to it, but I'm really glad that I listened to that inner guidance and that I added this tool to my collection, because this crystal has been such a help in my own healing. And I think that's really what crystals are all about. I just got done recording an interview for our upcoming Crystal Mastery Conference. It's like a free conference we do twice a year, all about crystal healing. I interview experts from all over the world. And I interviewed the amazing Paula Pavlova. I'm not sure if you know Paula, but she's one of the co-founders of the Gaia Collective, who does the amazing moon boxes. It's like a subscription box. And I got my first moon box a couple months ago, and Lauren has connected me with Paula. And I'm so grateful for that, because Paula's just like super phenomenal, first of all. But we had the opportunity to talk a little bit about how crystals have this really interesting way of bringing out everything that's already inside of us. All the healing that we need to do, it's down in there somewhere. It just needs to be called forth to the surface. And that's really what crystals help us do. They help us like tune in to that energy. And so this rose quartz has really been helping me tune in to that healing, that emotional healing that I'm needing to call forth right now. And Jamie, yeah, you're so welcome. And I know, right? Sometimes we need that little reminder to go pick up our crystals and sit and meditate, do a little yoga, just focus on some self-care sometimes. And rose quartz is a great reminder of that. And Zen Lotus Yoga Art, do you still have something like this in your store? Yeah, I think there are 2 other pieces very similar to this one, or maybe even 3. I can't remember if I started with 3 or 4, but this was one of the pieces. But yeah, we have some. You can email my staff. I'll put an email address in here for you, and let them know that you'd like a big double terminated rose quartz, and they can send you some pictures and prices and stuff. But this one, I was like, okay, I was just feeling so drawn to it, and I'm so glad that I listened to that. And Denise is here. Hi, Denise. Oh, I love this. So Paula says she's been sleeping with a rose quartz heart under her pillow for the last week or so. Paula, I love that, because your ego mind's totally out of the picture then, right? You can really focus on going into that deep place of healing and allowing the crystal energy to come into your subconscious mind while you're in the dream state. And that just creates such a opportunity for healing that you sometimes don't get even through meditation. So I love that. And Karen, I adore you right now, Karen. Karen says she does lots of yoga. There is yoga for every body, meaning every body. Yes, Karen, I totally agree. I've done yoga on and off for many years, more off than on, unfortunately. Until recently, I've been doing it just about every other day for about an hour and a half, which has been amazing. But, there were certainly times in my life where I had very different body shape. And it's really interesting how, your yoga practice can shift around that. And that knowing that we're all divine beings, and no matter how you have to change or adapt your practice, it's still about the practice itself. So I love that. So thank you all so much for just hanging out with me a little bit. I wanted to just share like my personal journey with rose quartz right now and why I've been feeling so drawn to it and so attracted to it. But there's a link in the description for this video that goes to this week's blog post and podcast, where I open up even a little bit more and talk about, just some great properties of rose quartz, some different ways to work with it. And I encourage you to go check that out. If you've never listened to the podcast before, or you haven't been over to the blog for a while, click that link. You'll be able to listen to it if you like. You can even download it and listen to the podcast later. You can read through the article there. There's even a great little chart there that you can pin over on Pinterest, or print it out and use it for some reference on the different properties of Rose Quartz. And Zen Lotus Yoga Art says, love your podcast. Thank you so much. It's something I really enjoy doing. And yesterday I did a Facebook Live, kind of a behind the scenes of what it's like to record the podcast, which was really strange, but it felt really good to do because I've been getting a lot of questions. And, Cesar, you're so welcome. Cesar says, I'm grateful for the motivation to use Rose Quartz more. It's, it's just nice to have those reminders sometimes of, really taking time to connect with our crystals and finding ways to integrate them in a way that just makes sense, like for whatever's going on in your life at the moment. And I hope that you stay in your heart space. I hope that you find some time to do a little emotional balancing and connecting with your crystals, and in particular, just really working with your rose quartz and appreciating the stone that's really common and sometimes gets a little forgotten about in all the hustle and bustle of, the new finds or the latest trendy crystal. So thank you all so much. And Paula, you're very, very welcome. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. I'm Ashley Levy of the Love and Light School of Crystal Therapy. And until next time, crystal blessings.
The Crystal Healing Certification Program is coming soon. Want to know more? For info, free training, and to get on the list, go to crystalhealerschool.com.